kind of more freely against Feliz and not show the other teams that are kind of studying them on this map, or on this round rather. And that might actually turn it around, or maybe even give one round to Feliz.
Certainly could. We'll see bans traded here on Whitemane and Genji. Very common. Ballistix has the opportunity now to remove. I was gonna either say Maiev or Hammer here. Both very terrifying heroes on this map. Let's see if the Maiev ban is met here. We could also see a very good and reasonable ban on Hooligans Diablo. The first pick is very likely again to be the Deckard King for this squad. I leave the Diablo open though, so maybe not. Okay.
They're gonna just quick pick onto Diablo here.
So meta right now, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, Diablo was one of those picks that you would see like 1 out of 20 games back through most of HGC Pro history.
Even last week, we've seen a lot of Diablo bans as well. So, you know, we do expect Diablo, and you know, it's either Diablo ban or Maiev. It seems like, you know, Hammer and Whitemane and Genji has been up there most of the time. Like Whitemane, maybe not in the first 4 bans, but she ends up coming out later on. This time Alex and Hanzo gets picked.
Yeah, Liu's going to get his Alexstrasza. And they take away one of SC's best heroes, the Hanzo. One of Hanzo's weaker maps, but still. You've limited his pool significantly now. But now, Phoenix actually, I think, becomes a really big power pick. They take the Raynor instead for now, with the Deckard I was talking about earlier. Phoenix is very powerful, potentially on both sides, but I think, you know, given they already picked up this Raynor, Feliz is now thinking about, okay, like, this is not a common pick for this map, but maybe we want to ban the Li Ming. Junkrat is the safer ban.
See what they go with, because, like you said, either Junkrat or Li Ming could be a viable ban, but on the other hand, they go with the Zeratul.
Zeratul pairing with Diablo is very powerful, and we've seen it a lot for that reason alone.
Malthael is also banned out, so all the heroes that we were talking about, you know, Junkrat and Li Ming, they're both still there and viable for picks. We'll see what Feliz goes with here.
The Malthael ban is pretty it makes me raise questions. It's very powerful against Diablo, but it's more about the soul lane, so now Feliz can just take your Rel. It almost feels like a trap. It's going to be Leoric that comes out instead.
I also was talking to G-Cliff about this briefly, about how Leoric doesn't come out more often, and I used to love seeing Leoric come out on the solo lanes, and finally he does come out, and the Phoenix comes out as well. Maybe we'll see Uriel on the side of Ballistix now.
I think so, unless there's something here that I've been keeping secret that I don't know. Okay, it's going to be Blaze, and I think that Blaze is always powerful for this battleground because of his bunker ability and how much he can basically be free kills on defenders when he puts the bunker down. He has a lot of really nice anti-burst potential against something like a Phoenix Hanzo, the arrows coming through. But, you know, Yrel helps you set up a lot of really nice engages with Diablo. So, you know, I think both picks are strong here. For Feliz now, we're looking just for the main tank. It's going to be Garrosh.
Alright, so maybe they're going to go for some of those pickoffs. Or maybe when Diablo or Blaze kind of barges in and not on the same page with his teammates, kind of throw him back even if they're a tank, and try to kind of chip him down for the early start of the team fight.
Yeah, I mean, Garrosh is a very powerful early game hero. Very good at controlling the Shrine as well, when you're looking to force fights with, you know, for example, the Alexstrasza. Not as divey as, say, a Nubrock, which has been more commonly paired with this type of heroes, say the Blaze, the Alexstrasza. That's the kind of pairing that we've seen more commonly today, and with players like Sign, who love to play that Nubrock, players like we just saw earlier, Judy, yes, playing the Nubrock. You know, that's the more common one here, but Garrosh is still very powerful and can be a nice counter to Diablo. Because when Diablo charges in, if he can't catch the Garrosh, and if he does catch the Garrosh, Garrosh will be fine, you just toss him back in.
Exactly, and you know, in part 1, if you guys remember, Garrosh was actually on the ban list a lot most of the time. It has changed, and you don't see him banned anymore. But in Phase 2 Part 1, Garrosh was actually picked a lot or banned a lot. So with Genji and Hanzo as well. So you know, it's good to see Garrosh coming out here again. But like you said, will it work out for Team Feliz?
It's the question. I mean, this is going to be this year, the 23rd game of Garrosh for OJ. It's his most played hero, and it was his most played last season. So, you know, it's the hero he feels most comfortable with. And obviously Garrosh has had, you know, his time to shine as top tier tank, so that's part of it. But OJ kind of keeps going back to these older tanks. Look at that swing from Hnaten. That's a massive slope, but they still can't capitalize on it.
Jungha has to pull back here. Diablo takes the run of damage while Jungha pulls back, but Hooligan also taking a lot of damage. He is going to get picked off.
Yeah. So just some overextending there by Ballistix. Feliz, man, first blood against Ballistix.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
What does this mean? I'm getting excited slowly, but this might be false hope like we've seen in the first series.
I mean, it's a very I don't know. I want to.
Won.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is just Feliz being very coordinated, punishing Ballistix, basically showing a lack of respect. Jungha is going to be able to get out of here. It hits the big double stun there. But the thing about the shrine control that I'm concerned about for Ballistix is if they don't get a blow-up pick, like if Diablo can't set up a nice fight, like they don't really have much burst. I think it is going to be Lornado instead of the Stay a While and Listen here for Deckard Cain. And Feliz has so much sustainability that in the longer fight, if Diablo doesn't kill somebody, I think Feliz can win those fights. Like, they certainly can.
And the rotation is coming on the side of Feliz. They're definitely confident right now with the first blood, taking all the camps, rotating around, soaking up the experience, but Hooligan decides to pause the game.
Yeah, just a little quick Hooligan pause here.
Hooligan pause.
Alright. Guessing it looks like it might be related to, well, over to Jungha's computer, now over to Magi's computer. There's our STE's computer.
I'm trying to listen. I hear the Korean side of the broadcast a little bit where the PD is telling the Korean broadcasters what the problem is.
Yeah,
but
it's
I can't make out what the actual problem is, but let's hope it's fixed. It's Jungha's computer, it seems.
Yeah, it's Jungha's PC, it looks like. I thought it might have been SDE's, but okay, well, we'll get an update when we can.
Okay, did you hear what he said?
No, I actually didn't catch that.
He fat-fingered Alt-Tab. I don't know how that happens, but that's actually what the problem was, where his screen went down and they just did a quick pause.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose he might not have had Windows key disabled and something like that happen, because that happens from time to time.
No, like, Alt-Tab, like, pressing Alt-Tab without knowing it actually does happen a lot for some of these pros that also stream.
Yeah.
Because they want to go back and forth from screens and, you know, type in chat, or sometimes we're gonna look at your donations or whatever or whatnot.
Well, this is like when basically when Jungha was like, "Oh my God, they got first blood on Hooligan." Like, what's everyone saying on Invin? Like,
y'all tapped out. Wow, another pickoff onto Diablo.
I think we're gonna see another alt tab, man. What's
time it's not
Korean
Invin.
Twitch chat saying? Like,
this time it's gonna be Reddit. Like,
he's checking Reddit. He's checking Twitter. Feliz, the 2-0 dream, man. Feliz is gonna do it after we discounted them.
Oh my God. But yeah, I'm not joking. The PD actually did say he alt tabbed.
Yeah.
And you know that's something that we usually don't get. But that was the case, and Hooligan gets picked off again. 2 deaths from Hooligan.
Yeah. Usually to prevent stuff like that, well, hold that thought. Have this fight. There's the blow up on the Hnaten they were looking for. That's going to force the Dragon Queen. They did lead 19, so the Dragon Queen should almost guarantee this take here. And this is why Alex Strauss is so powerful on this map. This is a map where you have to kind of fight over the objective. Whereas a map like Sky Temple, you like go to the other one. First, you can take the macro play while delaying. But this is a map where like, if they get control of the objective and you can't fight it, you just have to leave. And Alex Strauss basically just says like, okay, well, if you didn't get here first, like, it's ours for the taking. Ballistix has to give it away. And there's not really much of an alternative game plan except to just soak when this happens. Hooligan's going to look for another engage here, but it's pretty easy to get out of this one.
This one's going to go down pretty fast. It's the ice one. But, you know, like you said, with Alex on the side of Feliz, and they're going to take this shrine, and it's going to be back-to-back. And especially with Hooligan just getting picked off, it just seems like Feliz, they want them to come in.
Well, this is a nice grab onto SC.
Ooh.
He does have his heal, I believe.
Yeah.
Gonna pop it at the last second.
Feliz ramming in.
A lot of resources burned onto Raynor here. And that could have been disastrous if there was a nice follow-up. But the cool thing here is that Leoric's still pushing the top lane. And, you know, we do see that same is being done with Thrall in the bot. But Feliz is trying to actually get small trade-ups like this to really coordinate a play. I think that Ballistix is not treating this match like it's a match against Gen G, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, like, most teams would ideally want to do, no matter what your opponent is. You treat it like it's the greatest opponent of all time every time you play against them. But Ballistix, I think, has dealt with Feliz many times in the past and expects them to be the kind of team that doesn't make coordinated plays like this. And they are making these really nice rotations. They have the lead right now. They're pushing towards a slightly faster 10.
And be aware, Ballistix did go up against Feliz in part 1, and they're 3-0 them, obviously.
Yeah.
And maybe that's one of the reasons, because every game that Ballistix has been up against Feliz, they just 3-0'd comfortably. So, no.
Yeah, this will be their fourth time.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that's why they're kind of taking it easy.
And when you've got, for the year, a 9-0 record against a squad who has lost all their maps here in part 2, you know, it does feel like you walk into the studio thinking, okay, we take this like Hero League and go home. I mean, obviously I'm exaggerating it a little bit, but underestimating them a little bit, I'd say. Even that charge in there wasn't really going to amount to much. Feliz's rotations are so crisp right now. In terms of experience, Ballistix caught up, though. Yeah,
that's what I wanted to mention. You know, it was an early kill onto Diablo twice. And, you know, if you see the scoreboard, it's 2-0 regarding kills onto Feliz's side. But experience, like you said, they all caught up, even with 2 deaths on their side. And this just shows that Ballistix, even with giving them 2 kills, they're not behind in experience. They're not, you know, Feliz is unable to snowball the 2 kills. And we do have another pause from SCSC.
Too many alt tabs, man.
Yeah.
He keeps alt tabbing. Tell him that's against the rules.
It's Zhengha again.
I couldn't save Hooligan, man. I need to know what like Invin's saying. No, I think it's probably a different issue this time.
You think so?
I think so. We haven't been given any sort of update on it, so. Anyway.
Okay. So this time it wasn't an alt tab. His screen froze.
Yeah.
So maybe he alt tabbed, but it froze. It froze.
Well,
because sometimes when you alt tab, your screen freezes rather than alt tabbing to another window.
So what I was going to mention earlier is that usually for most people playing at home, especially people who have high-end PCs, they set their game to windowed full screen. Yeah. Because that way you have a pretty easy alt tab, and it's very easy to play the game that way. It's very smooth. But in order to prevent alt tabbing, or at least heavily discourage alt tabbing, most esports are blocked into full screen only. And so if you do alt tab during a full screen, you will feel. I mean, before we even have full screen window, like anyone who played like games since like Windows 95 knows what it means to like alt tab. Like you alt tab Brood War back in the day. Good luck getting back in. All right, it's gonna take a while. You got that one AIM chat message. Or Yahoo Messenger, or if you use MSN, whatever. Use Nate on chat, okay? You guys know what I'm talking about? You alt-tab that one moment, and you're like, oh, like...
And then you come back, and your opponent is chatting. It's like, you get that lag, the notification. You get the 1 minute and 40-second countdown on the opponent. And for you don't see that because your screen is black, and you're trying to get back in.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. Wow. All right, so I guess the problem was big enough that they had to reboot Zhengha's PC to rejoin the game, so it's going to take a little bit longer than the previous alt tab.
Yeah. I think that it probably wasn't actually an alt tab this time.
Yeah,
the issue was this big, but it was probably like something related to just the client having an issue. So hopefully rebooting the PC fixes the problem.
And this happens a lot, especially in the pro scenes. Not as often, but when it does happen, it's not because the PCs that they're using are bad. It's just every time a new team comes in, they have to swap out their mouse, keyboard, and everything, headset, if they have their own peripherals. And sometimes the drivers, they kind of clash, and if they're using a different model, and they have to have multiple drives installed as well. So that's actually one of the reasons that I figured out recently why some of the computers crash, even though some of these computers, or most of these computers, are, you know, super high-end.
And most of the time, players have their settings preemptively saved on an SSD, and so the SSD gets slotted in. That's actually what happens in the setup time, so that when you put the SSD in, it has all your config files there, so all your hotkeys, etc., that you normally use are actually saved to that SSD. And then you put that in, and those are, of course, changed between matches by the staff. So that's usually how that kind of stuff works. So if you change your hardware between those sessions, and if you forget to install the drivers because you're so used to playing at home, or you don't tell the staff about it, it can lead to issues. In this case, it just sounds like a kind of a intermittent issue that has just occurred twice in this game so far. So hopefully it gets resolved soon. Ballistix is behind at the moment, so you know, this is one of those moments where it's like, are we going to lose the 8th place team? We've got a technical problem. This is stressful.
Yeah, I know. You know, everything is going against Ballistix right now. Even, you know, the 2 kills that they gave up, and the 2 errors that happened for them, even though the first one was an alt-tab by accident. But still, everything is against Ballistix right now. But it's still, like I said before, super early game. You know, anything could happen. Even with the 2 kills given up by Ballistix, the experience bar is pretty similar in terms of, you know, soaking up experience. So, like I said before, even with the 2 kills given to Feliz, Ballistix is not allowing Feliz to snowball the 2 kills early on. So, you know, Feliz, they have to figure out a way to snowball when given the chance.
That's exactly what they need to do. And I think that this fight on the Shrine is going to be the next most important moment here. Because this time, as we go back into game, this time they don't have the massive advantage on defenders when it starts. So Ballistix doesn't have a positional disadvantage that they had before. Gonna heavily engage here. Entomb is a good one. Salvo's up. Oh, look at that Dragon Strike combo. Did not see that one coming. I don't think Ballistix either, but it's all countered by a single bunker.
That bunker was just nicely placed there.
That was a really cool setup, though, actually. That's the first time I've seen that really executed that well, because we've seen teams try it in Korea, but it's like usually falls flat on its face.
Ooh, but the Garrosh tries to initiate, but gets initiated, and he does get picked off first.
Okay, Sundering here connects, and unfortunately for Feliz, I think their early game lead ends here.
Definitely does. Wow.
Oh, Hooligan is crazy. Like, what?
He's still alive.
He lives, but... You know, that was, you know, I would have thought twice about that move. He did not. He had full confidence that was going to work out in his favor.
Yeah, it ended up working out. But this was going to hurt Feliz, because even with the 2 kills advantage that they had, as we were talking before we got into the game, they were unable to snowball that, and now losing a team fight, you know, losing their mortal, this is just going to already keep down.
So you know what's really good? You know, we talked about Dragon Strike with Entomb. You can't move, so you take a lot of the duration of the full Dragon Strike. You know what's really good with an Entomb? What? It's just Dragon's Arrow. Oh. You know, as it turns out, they all get caught in the Entomb, and then they get stunned for a long period of time, and then real damage comes through and kills them. Yeah. So even though this combo has been attempted before in Korea, and if it has in other regions, I haven't really caught it too much. Like, I know it's been done before, but like, who did it and how recently? I don't have.
And how well did it work out? As well.
Exactly. I don't have the data on that one right now, but the big cost of this is not actually that the fight didn't work for them, but it's actually that for the rest of this game they have Dragon Strike, and that's a very weak heroic in terms of team fighting. So it also means they have a less of a chance to pair up CC for Salvo. Yeah. It's just unfortunately bad in every way compared to Dragon's Arrow, and that's why Dragon's Arrow is meta and Dragon Strike is not.
It's not, yeah. Maybe Desanza wants to, you know, Aimer wants to kind of play it like the other game, you know, Dragon Strike, and maybe he thinks that they have a Zarya on their team or something.
I mean, Entomb does operate in some ways like Graviton Surge from Overwatch, but the problem is that Dragon Strike in that game will kill you so fast.
Yeah.
In this game, you're not sure if they're taking damage or getting healed by the Dragon Strike. Like, Dragon Strike, I mean, I've talked about this forever, and, you know, G-Clef and I have made big jokes about it. There's been Twitch clips on Reddit where, like, we're like, Dragon Strike combo! Oh, nothing happened. Oh.
Oh, they got healed.
It was just like the last team fight we watched. Oh, Entomb Dragon Strike! Oh, no, it actually didn't work. Like, it hit them for almost the full duration, and yet everybody's fine. Like
they're still fighting.
Okay, here's an Entomb.
All right, there we go.
The big Sunder. They avoided the root there from Magi. That was really nicely done.
All right, well, this is now, everything was against Ballistix for a short moment, but now they're coming back. They're punishing Feliz for that 2 early kills. He's going to push it out.
If there's been anybody, by the way, not you know, not to beat a dead horse here, but if there's been anybody who's played Dragon Strike with moderate success in Korea, it is actually SC, who's now playing against it. So I'm sure he's got a little bit to say about it.
Yeah, he definitely knows. We'll have to see what happens here. You know, now Feliz that they, you know, procced into that, they have to work with it. They have to make it work. They can't go back.
There's no going back here.
There's no going back.
You can't just go like, oopsie daisy, I want to switch that. Nope. They committed, man, and I think it's gonna
punish them.
I think that we live in a world where there's a possibility that we don't even see any more Dragon Strike used the rest of this game, because you have to use it for such a specific situation.
Yeah.
That, like, it's just like in that last fight, he saw the Entomb hit one person, he was like, well, this isn't even worth using. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And, you know, that combo didn't even work out at the end of the day, so, you know, I don't know if Hanzo's going to want to use that skill.
I mean, he chose it right, so he can't go back like you were saying already, but how he uses it now, or if he uses it, he's like, well, this is a waste of mana, you know. We'll have to wait and see.
I'd rather just use one more or a couple more scatter arrows.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. You know, we never know. It could work out.
This is one of those heroics because it's so popular in Overwatch.
Yeah.
As Ballistix takes the shrine, by the way.
Yeah.
It's going to be an arcane, so it's going to be very powerful. They have 16 advantage. It's one of those heroics that, as an ultimate in Overwatch, it's very powerful, and it pairs with everything so well that you think on paper, like, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And it's one of those heroics that in-game, if it was as strong as it was in Overwatch, would be like the most powerful heroic ever. So obviously, Blizzard and the devs had to tone it down. But as a result, like, the end result is it's not a very powerful heroic. Same with Zarya's Graviton Surge.
Yeah.
You know, I'm also an Overwatch caster, so I've cast a lot of this. I've a lot of experience with this. It's not actually her meta heroic in Heroes of the Storm, because it's been toned down.
It's definitely been, you know, you say toned down, but it's basically unusable.
Yeah.
It's like you said before, the expression that you used was like, you get hit by it, are you getting damaged or are you getting healed? That's how bad, well, that's how toned down it is.
It just feels, it just feels really low impact.
Yeah.
They're going to get a whole keep wall with this Arcane Punisher, which is really nice. Obviously, keep would have been ideal, but, you know, pretty solid defensive setup here as Jungha's dealing with the... Because they gave up the shrine, they took all the camps, so Jungha's dealing with that right now to make sure that Feliz doesn't get any other small advantages. Okay, Entomb. Okay, SDE is, like, stuck in it. In fact, he's going to die to the salvo.
Okay.
Diablo comes in there. That actually did some real damage there because he got stuck for the entirety of the duration. That's pretty rare.
And he was walking out, taking more damage as well. So, all right, that did work out, especially with the salvo finishing it off. If it wasn't for the salvo, he could have lived.
Yeah, for sure. That was well executed by Dudu there at the end. Feliz needs to be careful, even though this is a 5v4 fight. You know, Raynor has quite a damage output.
Yeah.
Now that they're healed, I think this should be fine to invade this camp.
Well, they're still going at it, though.
Hooligan might find himself with his third death this game.
Hooligan.
Hyperion, though, and that's a deadly Auric.
Salvo.
Okay, SC's still full health, man. He's like, he's not interested in running away. We'll see the scatter arrow get the kill there on Diablo, reset his stacks. Another scatter arrow here to try to push them back as Dudu warps away.
That was a crazy fight. They lose Thrall, but they still go at it, and it just shows how well Ballistix are able to focus down one hero at a time, forcing that one hero that was focused down to kind of back off the fight, making it even. And that continues on, and eventually, even a 4v5, Ballistix was able to kind of push back Feliz.
Yeah. Hooligan is, he does lose his stacks from this, which is actually the biggest win for Feliz, but he knows he can respawn very quickly, and they use this to their benefit to just push mid immediately. Jungle's split pushing bot, so they're just trying to force their way to 20.
Yeah.
They turned a bad situation into an okay situation. I wouldn't say it's good for them, but, it could have been worse. Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so we do see Ballistix taking this camp, getting ready. They might want to take, before when they took down the top keep, they were kind of focusing on the middle keep, but it seems like right now they want to just prepare this. They're leaving this camp alone to kind of match it later on when...
Remember, for Feliz, the whole crux of their comp is very similar to the... Oh, hold that thought. So SD's caught again, taunted. He just got too far out. Thrall doesn't have any escapes, not until he gets bolt on 20, but... to go back to what I was going to say earlier, is we saw the same similar type of composition from earlier. It was Miracle on Sky Temple.
Yeah.
The Alistair comp. The crux of this is to stay grouped up on an objective. That's why they invaded shrines on Sky Temple. Now they're trying to use the same style here. So, looking for solo picks, that's a little bit more difficult to do, but they made that happen. Twice they got 2 solo kills onto, or single kills onto SDE.
Yeah.
Now they have control of this shrine. They need to make sure that they soak while they do this, though, because if they just group up, 4 men on the shrine, they get the shrine, but they lose experience. And Ballistix is knocking on the door at 20 right now.
Definitely, and it seems like they're gonna just give this one up. Usually, we sometimes see teams giving up to maybe 25 to 30ish, and then kind of invade in late game when they have the level advantage. But this time around.
Yeah, and this is the symbol of macro right up here from Ballistix. That push in the top lane with that Kantar going down is going to get them 20.
Yeah.
It's going to force Hanaten to rotate up, and obviously Lior can deal with this very quickly, but they hold on to the shrine just for a moment, just exactly like what you were saying, because they wanted to be able to deal with that top push and then rotate as 5 with the Punisher rather than having Hanaten off in another lane. Still, Ballistix can deal with this pretty quickly, and they have 20.
Feliz still kind of, halfway to 20 here, so if Ballistix kind of ignore... Oh, here we go, Intune works.
Okay, SDE, target again, but the bunker's up. But it's not going to last forever.
Yep. But the 20 advantage here, Ballistix, they definitely want to go at it. They could give up that bottom keep, it doesn't matter as long as they get a lot of picks, but they just get 1.
Yeah, Feliz just completely respects Ballistix here, walks away. Looks like SC is going to bait this Punisher away from the fort, so they're not even going to get that. They'll get 20 from the mid wave that's going on right now. And in fact, they could look to collapse on and hard engage this. Imagine if they had Dragon's Arrow. Like this, the mid push that you guys can see on the minimap right now would just not be possible because they would just stun and hard engage on it. But with Dragon Strike, it's actually not. It's not possible. They get 20 from the defense. Could have maybe done more with Dragon Strike.
Yeah, if it was a Dragon Strike, Ballistix wouldn't have split it up like that as we just saw right now. But either way, not having that costed Feliz the bottom fort being able to be saved by Ballistix.
Cooldown reduction on 20 for the Dragon Strike. The Dragon Awakens is locked in here for Hanzo as well. So Frankel has a way to, sorry, not Frankel, Aimer has a way to. Reduce the cooldown, so that's going to be available more often. So it's going to be more on par with the cooldown of like Entomb, for example, so they have a lot more opportunities to set that up. But again, very low impact compared to Dragon's Arrow. Yeah,
but I have to say, like, maybe the damage... they're going to get rid of that, but damage-wise, it could be questionable to be used, but it could also be used as a zoning tool. It's not supposed to be used for zoning, but it could still split up a team, and you guys could kind of focus on 1 or 2 heroes quickly and try to get rid of it.
Yeah,
that's possible.
That's definitely part of what led to SDE's death earlier, because it was harder for Ballistix to get in a position to save him, especially Deckard. So yeah, I do, you know, I feel like maybe I've undersold that property of this heroic to you guys in a lot of ways, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a valid point, and it can be great for that, especially if they had harder engage to follow up. You know, if they had Thrall on their team, you know.
All right, there we go.
Okay, Bunker is up, but you know what? He can't get in. SDE is killed again by this Dragon Strike.
Yeah. And OJ is low, though, on the other hand. He's trying to back out. Let's get healed.
Oh, so much damage, though, from this Lightning Breath. Oh, my God. He's going to pop the Dragon Queen, but it's not going to matter. There's the root. On to OJ. Can he get out of here? Jungho wants the Dragon Queen, though.
You get out. It's a 1-for-1 trade. But the Dragon Strike worked.
Yeah. And Diablo's finished his quest again.
Yep.
So, I mean, how this is working out with the follow-up toss from Garrosh and just grabbing and preventing him from getting in the bunker. It's been a big problem for SD. I think he's died like 4 times total in this game. I think it's his 4 deaths and Hooligans 2 that make up the 6 kills for Feliz. So it has been.
And it was.
I want to say it's been decently effective. Like, I don't like to say it, but I'm going to say it here.
Yeah. And out of the if it was for the 4 deaths on the Thrall or SD, 3 of them were actually from the Dragon Strike and the Entomb. So it's been working out. But now that it works on Thrall, why not make it work on these 2 heroes?
Yeah.
Not just 1. It could actually turn the tide around because the levels are pretty similar here.
If they can get a big Q off from Hnaten, like he can just swing his hammer and lead to a big salvo combo with that, like that could be how they blow people up. Okay, this could be a great opportunity for a big Entomb.
Yep.
Just tosses in. Here comes Aimer, tossing it out.
Ooh, but it's Hooligan. He just
the bunker this time they get in. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, this is one of those overhyped arrows,
Yeah.
Or we're trying, but.
Well, it's been working out on Thrall, but it's not going to work out on the Hooligan. But Decker does get picked off early.
Lightning Breath is doing so much damage. Look at second Dragon Strike from the cooldown reduction. Yeah. But it's not going to be enough to really finish everybody off. SC is very low. Dudu wants the chase.
Gonna chase, though. All right, they're not. They're going to go back.
Okay, the Dragon Queen making a big difference here. And second Dragon Strike.
Decker being out on the side of Ballistix, support being out early. Yes, we had Diablo and Blaze with the bunker and the super tanky tank, but without Decker, it's still going to be kind of hard to sustain the health. And just being Leoric, they still have Garrosh, they have Phoenix, they have Hanzo, all the damage output they need to kind of melt down the tanks. Without Decker on their side, they're going to have to pull back.
I think that Feliz is showing some lack of experience here in that they won the fight. Yeah. They're taking the shrine, but an experienced team will leave a solo shriner to the shrine while they contest objectives on the map in a moment like this. Instead, they gave Ballistix free reign on the map. They've now come back after threatening a keep. Like, Ballistix just ran 2 circles around Feliz. Not mechanically, but macro-wise. And Feliz still has this advantage, but Ballistix has an opportunity to take this Arcane Punisher away now.
Yeah, this one's going to be big. 23-minute Arcane Punisher is going to be big. It could possibly be engaged.
Hey, they're looking for the engage on the Hnaten too. Okay, here's the Entomb. Dragon Strike, they can't get in the bunker. Bunker, just unfortunately, they could not click on it. That's a double kill.
That is a double kill with Diablo and Raynor being out. They
SD's going to die. You know what? This might actually be Feliz's first win against Ballistix.
Wow.
I mean, it looks that way. They're going to have to go through, unfortunately, a whole fort. So this is not going to be the game-winning 23-minute Punisher. This is very similar to earlier when we saw Blossom have that late-game Dragon Knight, but there were all forts up.
Yeah, but it's still going to do a lot of damage. And
look at the backdoor, too. That's going to force a reaction here.
They definitely are. They do still have that 23-minute Arcane, so they want to kind of... Oh, they're going to just go at it.
Oh, I mean, they want to core call this because of the backdoor. Yeah. And you know what? This might just be too much damage to stop. We're still 25 seconds away from SDE. They need to Hearth Home now. Okay, they got the keep, but the core, I mean, this is a 93% health Punisher. Like, I think Feliz wins this game. Despite their best efforts here, they might have actually wanted to delay. Here comes the attempted delay bunker. This time they get in, they right-click on it. Here comes the Diablo respawn. Dragon Strike's out.
Taking some damage here.
Oh, they're taking a lot of damage. The Punisher's not on the core yet.
There we go. The Punisher joins the fight. Another pick off onto Blaze.
Big sleep here, but Hooligan's getting low. He should respawn right after. He actually survives. Okay. Insane. Oh, Doodoo pops his 20 shield, and he's going to walk away with that.
Super close.
It still could be a game. Look at the heals coming through from Alex Rosso. The U's keeping him healed up. They want to end this right now. Hanaten barely survives. So much extra damage coming out from this Arcane Punisher. Lightning Breath. Buying some time here. But I think this core might still go down. They're committing. They're committing right now.
Hooligan.
Okay, they need to blow everybody up. Doodoo getting low. Dragon Queen. They may not. SC, he needs to do that damage. He's just not in range. Feliz, I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to do it. SC is the only one who can stop them right now, but he's getting super low. Knocks Doodoo away. He's doing so much damage. Hooligan's buying so much time. This is insane. OJ goes down. And SC, he holds his own. He survives. He's going to push Doodoo back. Leo doing his best here to try to prevent this.
This was almost
Oh my god.
Wow, SC by himself. 1v2ing.
Feliz, I think in a lot of ways, did not focus fire correctly in that fight. They got the nerves grabbed them, you know, and that's the...
Yeah, they thought they were going to win, and they're like, all right, let's do it, and they were not focusing. If they just focused down either the Rainer or Hooligan, who was actually pretty low, they could have gotten rid of one hero at a time, and they could have definitely 100% won, but they split it up, and, you know, it was well played on the side of Hooligan and SC kind of splitting up, and they kind of understood the situation where they're like, all right, Feliz split up, it's good for us, and, you know, they actually made it work out.
And the Punisher came in very late as well.
Yeah.
But Feliz, yeah, they split their attention between Hooligan, SC, and the core.
Yeah.
So now, you know, that keep that they committed to earlier, which was, you know, at the time looked like it might have cost them the game because they weren't buying time they couldn't use. You know, I thought maybe they want to use Stay a While and listen to buy time on the fort and then hope to get those respawns up.
Yeah.
But, in fact, like now it's the risk they took to get that keep puts them in a nice macro position because we're only one keep against one keep here.
Yeah.
And level scaling at 24. What a night of heroes.
Wow.
This will certainly be the only close game when we'll have two on one side and one right.
Don't jinx it. You know, we already got a present from these two teams. You know, we did not expect this kind of games coming out from Ballistix versus Feliz.
I mean, you know, you talked about it earlier. We talked about how, like, it would be an unhappy car ride home to the team house for Ballistix if they end up losing a map here. I think even this game alone, you're going to feel pretty bad about the fact that they've been essentially outclassed not only by Feliz, but Dragon Strike, Alex Strasser here, and, you know, they earned that defense of the core. I mean, holy cow, did they earn that, but it is a game where you feel like, you know, you don't go to 27-minute games on Korea. This does not happen. Now they can threaten the backdoor. I see Hanaten here. Any kills mean they just rush the backdoor because they know that Feliz is not in a position to backdoor themselves.
Wow.
Even though they have the core health advantage, that's insignificant compared to how close you are to the core at this point.
I just need some time to calm down after that. But yeah, like you said, especially
okay, Bolt committed for SD. The Bolt sundering there, but look at this. Bunker's up
with the Dragon Strike. Bunker.
Salvo doesn't hit really anybody. Yeah, the bunker just completely negates everything they were trying to do. Here's the sleep, lightning breath. Dragon Queen trying to save everybody. Hanaten is going to get blown up. Doodoo's got his 20 shield.
He does survive, it seems like, but OJ is not in a great situation here. They're getting chased, getting slowed.
There's another slow. The root will hit. And that's going to be the end of his life here. Knocked out, pulled away, as Aimer just tries his best. He does earn another Dragon Strike through all those scatter arrows.
But either way, I think in that fight, the bunker was crucial. It saved 4 members on the side of Ballistix, and they were able to keep their, you know, themselves pretty healthy and come out and just pick off.
You're absolutely right, man. Bunker is just such an impactful heroic in this meta. I mean, no matter what meta you're in, man.
Especially with Dragon Strike, like, it's an area damage, and if you stayed in there, especially for some squishy heroes, it actually does do some damage, but that bunker just saving the Thrall and the Deckard was crucial.
It's the salvo, you know, that's just denied as well.
Yeah.
As soon as you see the sweep come through, everyone just gets into the bunker.
Wow.
Well,
bunker and
if Feliz holds this, I don't know what I'm going to do.
You will clap into the mic.
Yeah. I was going to say I'll dance, some lame dance, but there's, I don't know, I can't think of anything. Here we go.
Check. Healing. Need some healing here, but they are going for this keep, and if this goes down, it's basically over. So like you said, Wolf, they have to hold this. Dudu has to back off, no shield right now.
Okay, they're blowing up. SDE,
Oh,
he's going to go down
SDE.
first. You know what? This is actually potentially holdable now. Oh, no. That's a death you don't want to have, though. Hyperion is out as well.
Garage does get picked up as well, back-to-back with Leoric here.
Okay, the Punisher is just too healthy this time. Dudu is doing what he can on the flank with Liu. But this is going to be the core going down. Ballistix has done it in a 30.5-minute game. They will take game number 1 of the series against Feliz. But what a game it was.
It definitely was, and